Hello, welcome to Dr. Gagnon's Atelier. Dr. Gagnon is me, as I am the cello professor at the Crane School of Music in Potsdam, New York. I just had a great lesson with one of my students, Claire, and we did this lesson over Zoom because she is in Long Island and I'm here in Potsdam, New York. And today's we talked a lot about sound projection, and I keep telling Claire, is this the Zoom, is this the computer, but here how you have to sound it. In fact, too bad for Claire, it was not the Zoom. But my point today is to remind you how sound production is important. You probably have been practicing a lot from your bedroom, right? Because of COVID. And perhaps you haven't been in a larger room in a long time, as I haven't. My largest room has been my driveway outside in covered day. So it's been it's very new in some shape or form. So now school is about to start, so let's make sure that you not only you prepare for your placement, or you're preparing to meet your new professor at college, or you're thinking of preparing for your college audition already. So that is important that today that you have that in mind, sound projection and beautiful sound, because guess what, you most likely will do your audition through a microphone. And microphone doesn't lie. So today, in a couple minutes, let's see how you can improve, or how I can help you improve your sound, your tone. First of all, the best exercise you can do is a scale, and as you notice, I started with C major. I didn't go fancy at all, so I did not go C sharp or F sharp. So I'm starting with C, so it allows me to really connect with my lower string. And when I do that, before I put my down bow in motion, I make sure I am connected. But how do we connect? That's where the how is very important, to have this beautiful tone that the cello can produce. It's very important at first you settle the hair on the string, and most likely it will be almost all hair, so flat hair. The second thing you will think about is to gently see, you can see it a little bit, my fingers are not stiff, right? But they have a little bit of springing motion. Just very smooth finger. So in other words, I try to keep my knuckles not engaged, but just very passive. So I can really smooth my finger around a little bit like a sponge. So you can tell me how it looks like. You answer me back and you can tell me. But what is important is that my first finger is connected to the stick. This is where it will become very important for your sound projection. So now that I play different pitches with my left hand, I have a regular course, which I will maintain the same bow speed throughout my course. And I have decided to share it in 4 equal distance. So I'm doing basically a scale slurred by 4. Now, the next goal is to change string. The string crossing is also equally important, and that's where you may have to really baby your sound. So there's no scratch, there's no hic, there's no stopping. So this is where it becomes really work. This is where you practice and you really pay attention. So when you do that, it's the idea is you pick a passage that you don't have to look at the music, so you can really engage your hearing. I happen to know my C major scale first octave from memory, so there you go. I pick a passage, I can really focus on the sounding. So when I do a string crossing, as I rotate, it's very important I keep the connection with my first finger right here. I keep the connection. Just readjust a little bit. Okay, so. And lastly, let me show you, if I was not keeping the connection, how it might sound. And it would sound different every time, because this is somewhat organic. There's wood and it's breathing, and there's the temperature who change. So every day you might have to adjust a tiny bit, especially if it becomes very, very humid like now, or very, very, very dry like in 5 weeks. Oh yeah, so I let go on my C and my D. I did let go the weight, and then it became very fluttery, very with overtoned quality. This is not something that I want. This is something I have decided that I don't want to have in my playing for now, because it's not written to play like that. So I want to have as round tone as possible. So then I would correct and make sure I observe the weight of my first finger throughout the stick. So then these are things you guys are going to have to practice, but also to choose to listen when you practice. It's not just repeating constantly, but there's also a lot to do with the other side. Remember, guys, these are the words and this is the voice. So if you don't use your voice, how does it sound? Doesn't sound much, right? So remember, this is the voice, so it's equally important to really pay attention. Lastly, before I let you go, just a few words of wisdom. This is your finger. From the finger to the stick, to the hair, to the string. Thank you so much for listening. Dr. Gagnon, Atelier.